Oh, dang. What's up, everybody? Dad's here. Oh, what is this? What is that? That's kind of cute and terrifying. I feel like it's saying stuff, but I don't think that the compressor's letting it go through. Oh, man. Just play ball. Goodness. Oh, man. Well, welcome, everyone, to Turtle Soup. This is a chef special episode. I'm not sure if Ryan's going to be joining us or if this is going to be his avatar for the evening. But either way, we're going to have fun tonight. So thanks for joining us. We got Noah in the chat. Have fun, folks. I hate mute. I think he means missing these. But someone has to teach these future ninjas. So yeah, Noah, well, we'll miss you. And Ryan's back. Oh, man. I thought a witch had come and turned you into a baseball cat. So glad to know that didn't happen. So, well, if you're going to stay that way, I can adjust you. Baby bird. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe you got, I don't know. The camera's adding like a whole bunch of pounds. I don't know. Here, I'll see what I can do for you. So yeah. Paul Calicote in the chat. Meow. Indeed. Let's see. Oh, so I have glasses now. Yeah. Apparently my eyesight was, yeah. And it's one of those things where you don't realize it until it's too late, or not too late, but like you just don't notice it. Like you don't pick up on it. And then the doctor's like, hey, I'm assuming, I think they're yeah, he's a doctor. Was like, I'm going to put these things on your face and you're going to look like some steampunk villain and tell me how it looks and tell me what gets clear. And I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely clear. And then now that I have them and as soon as I put them on, I'm like, oh, there's some definition. It's like whenever those, it's like anytime there's a new media format that comes out that's like better quality or higher def, it's like the screen swipes and it's like, oh my goodness, I see it all. And that's kind of what this is like. So and it's a whole new world for me.
In class, you were failing all the tests. Everyone thought you might have a learning disability or something, and then you just got glasses,
right?
And then you were the top student in the class. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
And all your behavior problems went away. It's a tale as old as time.
It is. The thing I'm not used to, and I think you can see it, is the fog and stuff. That's like I guess that's what that is.
Oh, you got to work on that.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure.
Because you're getting all hot and sweaty mom spaghetti over here. So you got to make sure.
So yeah, I'm going to have to figure that out. Let me see if this looks any better for you for your.
Remember one time, like, I think Shane, like, I guess Dallas got in the car with Shane or something, and they were driving, and Dallas, like, for some reason, just like, I don't know if he was just really sweaty or something was going on, but like the whole like window on his side was like fogged. It was like the middle of the day, and it was like fogged. And he goes, "Hey man, sorry for fogging up your window." And Shane just like lost his shit. Like Shane was just like, "That is the weirdest thing to have to apologize for."
Oh
like,
yeah,
sorry for fogging up your window, man.
My bad.
He's like,
sorry about
what?
that.
Like, what's even causing that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even like get it.
Yeah, how do you
like,
generate so much heat to change the in this
like
area?
you have that much steam coming off you, and also says that's the fog of war. You know what I'm saying? On your boy right there. And Paul Calcutt says Velma's got some competition. And honestly,
dang,
she might. You know what I mean?
Might.
I mean, like,
if I get close enough to that orange amp, it kind of looks like I'm Velma.
Yeah,
you can kind of see it because she wears orange a lot. Yeah.
No, I agree. No, she works that, and so do you now.
I do. Let's see. M. I gotta send you a message, M. So be looking in your inbox.
Be looking for that message.
And so yeah, we gotta
look at that cowboy hat box.
Yeah,
get your cowboy hats out of the way and look for that message under.
Because we gotta talk about some stuff. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. We're gonna be doing some other stuff tonight too. We're just gonna get warmed up here for a few minutes if y'all don't mind, and then we're gonna jump into some stuff. But it's just again chef special, and I had intentions you know how it always is. Oh, Sunday night, you're like, I've got all of these intentions for the week. I've got plans.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do all this stuff.
I'm gonna do all this stuff, and I didn't get. Well, I got a bunch of it done, but I didn't get. I want to come up with a logo so people know whenever we're doing these chef specials that. And I'm trying to think. And I was thinking one of the best things that I could do is probably either the logo that Joe Martin drew for us, the can logo. Taking the turtle head and just putting a chef's hat on it, maybe. Or the whole can putting a hat on it. I'm not sure. I might do both and like test out the waters. But
the whole can
just has a hat. Like, why does a can need a hat?
That'd be pretty great.
I think that'd be pretty funny. So I might end up doing that.
I think I kind of love that actually.
Okay. Then I'll see unless something else comes up. That's where we'll go with. Oh man. Yeah. So you doing okay?
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of projects done around the house. Trying to get our master bathroom done, and it's just like a lot of work.
Yeah,
like, got to do vanities, do everything like that. And trying to get the plumbing right and trying to get all this stuff. It's just like a lot. It's been a lot. Like, but it's been good. It's all been good progress and stuff. But yeah, I mean, God, it's hard. I mean, I've been watching a lot of baseball. I mean, that's kind of, I'm living and dying on the baseball season this year, and that's kind of a lot of what I'm doing.
That reminds me, my wife and I had a conversation last night. 'Cause she pulled up something baseball related somehow through one of the YouTubers she watches, and I can't remember it all. So I'm going to text her real quick. I'm going to see if I can get her in the chat because I want her to run something by you. I was like, oh, you got to talk to Ryan about this, or talk about this to Ryan on the show.
I could talk some baseball stuff.
And
let's go.
It's Mascot related. I think it's, whatever I remember correctly, it's Mascot and minor league related. So let me
okay.
So I'll message her, but yeah, let's see. Gee, some of the stuff in here, y'all are wild. Yeah, M. Wilson saying, I've been out here doctoring raccoons all day. You know how it is. Oh, dang.
Well, I mean, up in the wild north, I don't know what he's up to. I mean, yes, of course.
Of course. That's all I ever say. That's like, of course, it makes sense.
That's yes.
Jason Nieswander, or Irma has some competition. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Irma. Yeah,
you know
no, it really depends. Purple, orange.
He
He wants that tongue, yo.
I just want to see it in real life.
He wants it.
I don't necessarily. It's not a sexual thing. It's just. I'm just curious.
No, I mean, what you're saying.
Paul Calico, I sent an email that is not turtles related, so it might not be a topic. I saw that, Paul, and
I read this. I read this email today, and Paul, I love that you're on that Voyager tip, Star Trek Voyager. But what I'll say is, and it's email actually I need to let Brad read, because my man Brad is a huge Voyager fan. I am a huge Voyager fan, as you know, because you mentioned it in the email. But what I'll say is that the email contains a ton of spoilers for Voyager. A ton.
Oh, okay.
It is a really good email. It is a really, really good email.
Yeah.
I just read what he really touches on was that I had talked a while back about how much the Doctor grows in that show. And I think it was because I can't remember the subject we were on at the time, but I talked a lot about, some of the greatest episodes of Voyager are concerning the hologram Doctor's, like the chief medical program or whatever, his evolution and kind of tackling some things that they tackled with Data in TNG as well, right? A lot of like, is he a man? Does he have rights? This stuff like that. But because the premise of Voyager is that they're trapped in the Delta Quadrant, and there is no Starfleet to appeal to. There can be no trial of, like, there was the trial for Data, right, that had like Starfleet elements involved. You're kind of on an island. So he talks a lot about Janeway and some of the rough decisions she has to make, and I totally agree. And some of those decisions really come down to the Doctor. And but it is so full of spoilers, Paul. I loved it. I'm sure Eric loved it, right? Because you read it.
I started reading it, but what I read, I loved.
I need to drop it on my man Brad so that he can read it. But yeah, like he talks a lot about the Doctor's evolution and stuff in that show, and kind of agreeing with what I was saying. And I am so glad that you're knee deep in that Voyager, Paul, because I think it's the best Star Trek series ever made.
I
And
can
that's kind
get
of
behind that.
like I know that the next generation would like a word. You know what I mean? Like I get that. And it's hard for me to say. Like Brad and I had a conversation about Star Trek the other night that led me to basically have to say that I feel like Voyager handled the Borg the best of all the
Ooh.
series.
Yeah.
But I had to have a caveat that TNG walked so that Voyager could run.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you have to acknowledge the fact that TNG introduced the Borg. They laid down all the foundation for it.
Right.
Wolf 359 and all that stuff like that, so that Voyager could just mess with the Borg and just do original cool stuff with it, and didn't have to have episodes dedicated to laying out the very wide platform that the Borg winds up existing on in the Star Trek universe. So that being said, though, Voyager Borg episodes are my favorite, and they handle it beautifully. And Jerry Ryan, so I'm gonna stop right there.
Okay.
But let's see. But yeah, Paul, I don't think I can really read it even here, unfortunately. Just because I have such a huge kind of like respect, and I really want like I'll use this whole kind of PSA right here where we're talking about Voyager to say, if you haven't seen Star Trek Voyager, do it.
Yeah.
It is well worth your
It's up
time.
there.
If you say like, I don't know, I liked the Abrams Star Trek movie that I saw in 2009. That was cool. But besides that, I haven't really been able to get into Star Trek. I recommend giving it a shot. Like give Voyager a shot. It is, to me, the promise of the premise of what Star Trek should be. And maybe we'll just, instead of reading the email to everyone and spoiling things, we'll just say that, Paul. We'll just say that Paul is loving himself some Voyager. It's really a beautiful email. He's drawing all these lines and parallels between the characters and their development. It's obviously clear that he innately understands everything that's going on in that show,
Right.
and how great it is. But yeah, Paul, thanks for the email, because it was pretty great.
Right, and
we got some chat to catch up on, though. Oh, sorry,
we do. I just wanted to add to that. If y'all want us to read stuff on the show, we're all about it. We would definitely do it. But if there are spoilers, just be mindful. We might do what we just did. But so when you write to us, just make sure that if you really want it read and have us to like really whatever you want to do with it, us to do with it, just try to avoid some spoilers. But we'll still find a way to get it talked about on the show one way or the other. So
you want to send a special dispatch to the Deep Dive and Daddies, just talk about how much you love something that we've watched.
We're all
and
about
it's full of spoilers. We'll love that.
Oh, definitely.
And we'll be all over it. So Harley Jackson in chat saying Last Ronin #5 was fire. Also, Tuvok ruled in Voyager. I agree. Tuvok did rule. I've not read Ronin 5, but from everything I've heard about The Last Ronin, it's just been like blockbuster hit after blockbuster hit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking very forward to like getting to that at some point.
Yeah, I've only read issue 1 or 2, I think, and so we try to avoid spoiling ourselves, which sucks because the show's premise keeps us a lot of times from doing that, so we get to miss out on some stuff. But it does make it all the better when we go back to it. It gives us something to look forward to, and it's always nice to want something. So but I'm glad everyone else is enjoying it. So that's really rad.
No, it's sick. What do we got here? So we got Paul Calgo saying TNG definitely carved the path for Borg and stuff, and really for Star Trek in general, which is totally true. Got to give a lot of love to TNG.
Yeah.
We've got the Phantom Wire, aka Shannon, my wife, in the chat. I guess Shannon, your wife.
That was about to say.
Right,
I was going to let it go.
But what perspective do you take it from?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? True. Because like that's what you would say.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not used to doing it because the me calling Shannon your wife Shannon is new, but you saying Alicia your wife
right
is like as old as the podcast.
Exactly.
So I mean like
almost 10 years.
So obviously not my wife. That is Eric's wife. In the chat, hello y'all. And Wilson says he's gonna walk away, and when I come back, this Trek content will be gone. M adding up the confounding number of things he doesn't like, stacking this on top of his hatred for Mike Patton,
Oh, that's
somehow.
right. That's right.
That just burns to the very core of his being.
Yeah.
Um, and now not a fan of the Trek content. So I mean,
No.
there's that. You know, you guys can decode that. I don't know. Will M gain more Turtle Soup followers? Will he lose Turtle Soup followers over this? I don't really know.
The
You know
best
what I
thing
mean?
the best thing you know about him is you know where the lines are drawn. That's the thing. He draws the line.
You
That's
know
it.
you know where you
So,
stand. That's
you know where you
that's
stand.
a fact.
Yeah. So that's what we love about
Am
him.
I to the left of the maple tree, to the right of the maple tree? I mean,
Yeah.
like, am I in the sap on my head? You know what I mean? Like, am I the bucket? You have no idea. Like, am I in the cowboy hat box, or is the cowboy hat box me? You know what I mean? Like you know where you stand minute to minute with M. Wilson. So that's true. And of course, Paul Calicote with that 7 of 9. You know what I'm saying? 7 of mine. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
Yeah, Jerry Ryan's hot fire.
Yeah.
So let's see. So all right. So Shannon, your wife, in chat. Who's that with Ryan? Is that like a Batman Clark Kent situation?
It is indeed sort of. Goodness.
It's gonna take a minute for me to get used to wearing glasses all the time. I'm gonna immediately start my pitch for you to get contacts. It starts today. Like you got your glasses, you got your focals today.
Yeah.
And I will now begin the charge. I will now begin the campaign for don't live a two-dimensional glasses life. You know what I'm saying? Man. You too can gain your 360 vision, all your periphery, or more like a 180. All your periphery vision will come back. You will have your glasses slip off because you're sweaty or something's going on. And it's just a beautiful thing.
Dang. Okay. I mean, I understand the appeal of them, and I've, all the people I love, like you, my wife, like a lot of people that I love have contacts. Does off-screen producer Brad have contacts?
No, natural.
Natural.
He was like
20/20 vision.
He was like me.
The vision of an eagle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like just
still beautiful eyes. Beautiful eyes still.
Just on his perch. Beautiful eyes on his perch.
Right.
I mean, they can't see red or green, but that's fine.
That's
they're
fine.
still 20/20.
You only need those colors at the end of the year. That's about it. So, but yeah, colors are dumb. Jeez.
So can I tell the Wrigley Field story?
Sure.
Okay, I mean, because I'm not making funny. Okay, so Wrigley Field. So the Rays go to Chicago, and we go to play the Cubs. Okay. And are you familiar with Wrigley Field, like its biggest feature, like the wall of ivy on the outfield? Have you ever seen that, Eric, or do you know about it?
No. Where is Wrigley Field?
So there's in Chicago.
Chicago.
It's where the Cubs play.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, on your phone, you can Google a picture of Wrigley Field real fast. It's an old ballpark. It's really old. And the big feature of it is there's a brick wall in the outfield that goes around the whole outfield, and it's covered in ivy. It's green ivy. It's beautiful. Like, so it's all green and it's all really cool. And it's been there since like the 20s or like the 1910s. That ivy's been chilling out. So much so that when they actually like redid Wrigley Field, they actually did a lot of work on it. They actually cloned the ivy in case it got messed up, so they could grow it back, because that ivy is like one of a kind now, because it's been growing and evolving in that outfield for like over 100 years. Like you can't just replace the ivy, like it's its own breed now.
Interesting.
So they had to, they got scientists out to clone it. Now they wound up digging it out and like pulling it up and repairing that back wall, because bricks were just coming out of it. Like you could just like snatch a brick and just grab them. Anyway, that's all to say that the ivy is a big part of Wrigley Field. Now, when the baseball season starts, because it's still cold in Chicago, it's just brown like roots. Like the ivy doesn't bloom yet. So it looks kind of like nasty, right? Because it's a bunch of like brown vine roots, it looks kind of like, oh, what's going on back there? But, give it a couple months and it all blooms and it's gorgeous, right?
Okay.
So we're watching the game. Brad's watching the game. We're watching the game. And I go, I was like, it's still weird to see Chicago in April when just that brown wall. You know what I mean? Like, I really want that ivy to come back. That's part of Wrigley here. And Alicia and I were talking about that.
Right.
Alicia, my wife. And Brad goes, what color is it normally? And I'm like,
Oh no.
green like vines or ivy. Like he goes, so okay, so it's not just like that. And I'm like, no. And it was just one of those moments where like the red green colorblind thing comes up every once in a while, where I'm like, oh, my man can't
Oh
see
yeah.
the green ivy at Wrigley Field. Like,
That's
I felt bad.
amazing.
I was like, damn. I was like, shit. Then I was like, you ever thought about getting those glasses? Like they let you see colors. Like, I always see people like put them on and like cry on Facebook. I don't know if they're real or not. I mean, like, but I mean, there's enough videos. I'm like, they either have a lot of good crisis actors or those things can do something for you. One of the two.
Right.
And your boy Brad's like, I don't need it.
Doesn't need it. Dang.
I don't need it.
It takes a real person to just to own up to that and just still say you don't need it.
Yeah, and
And
it was
so
just
I admire that.
funny to me, because I don't know, it was just funny to me. But anyway, yeah. So that's the red green story.
Let me see if I can
and, the Wrigley Field story.
Let me try something real quick. So is that what you're talking about right there?
Oh,
the
yeah.
green? Is that it?
Yeah, you see that ivy?
Okay.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that's neat. I love that. Let me see if I can possibly.
Like balls get stuck in it all year.
Yeah.
And then like in the off season they have to like go and like get them out. There's been cases where a huge like pop fly has gone in the ivy and dislodged like 2 other balls.
Oh wow.
And they have like special rules. They have like rules for like how you're supposed to play that.
Really? That's
like
neat.
I think it's a ground rule. I think it's a ground rule double or something,
Yeah.
like where like play stops, you hit a double. So the guy gets on second base, and if there's a guy on second base, he gets to third base. They have to like
Okay, right,
do
right,
the
right.
artificial, because there's a rule called a ground rule double when you say hit a ball and it hits the outfield and then hops over the fence or hops out of bounds.
Right.
Where like the ball's not in play anymore. So it's called a ground rule double. Well, they have a rule for Wrigley Field because of the Ivy Plinko game that can happen when the ball goes in there, and either it can't be gotten out again because now it's just in the ivy. Because that ivy's like good 2 feet deep when it grows. Like you can't really like see through there. Or when it dislodges another ball that's obviously older,
Right,
like
right.
been rained on, or it dislodges a number of balls like that. It's like a plink. It's like you won the
Like
it's like you won the
Plinko.
slot
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, that's it. But right now, it just looks like some scary Victorian mansion, like brown, like vines going up the wall with no green on it.
Wow, that's
And
nuts.
Brad's like, I can't tell the difference, and I never will be able to tell the difference.
I wish that
How
every
pretty.
every baseball field had like some sort of like home hazard or something. Like
Yes,
that'd be amazing. I would love that.
No, that would be really cool. Now one cool thing is all the ballparks are different shapes in the outfield. So some of them
Oh.
do have like their own hazard. Look up Fenway.
Let's see if I can do this without
Like
wrecking everything.
Fenway, Boston. Yeah. This is fun. This is just special right here. We're looking at baseball. Baseball outfield.
We're looking at baseball outfield.
So Fenway's a really cool one because it has a thing called the Green Monster, which if you get a look inside, that's not going to give you a very good view. There's this gigantic green wall that you can see actually in that picture.
Is
Okay,
it
you see
right
that
back
huge
here?
green wall?
Right here?
Yeah, that thing is tall. Yes, that thing is tall as shit.
Is this Boston? Yeah,
is
I've been
in
there.
Boston. You been to Fenway?
Yeah, we went on our honeymoon.
Yeah,
yeah.
man, no way, really?
I put a turtle soup sticker up on it or somewhere near it. Yeah.
You did not put a turtle soup sticker on Green Monster.
I put it near it at least, somewhere near it.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Did you see a game, or were you just
No,
you just got to tour Fenway?
There was a game going
okay.
on, but we were there just passing by. But Shannon was showing me all the haunts. Shannon, my wife, and
Oh yeah,
yeah,
okay,
because she's from there.
Okay,
So yeah.
So that thing was erected back in like the day A, like the 1920s, I think.
The
like
day A.
Like it's a huge scoreboard.
Yeah.
Like if you actually like go through some images and like get closer to it, it's a huge scoreboard. But what's badass is that it has all these dents in it,
Oh really?
like from balls hitting it over the years, and it's hard to hit
wow.
a home run out of there. But that's a case of a natural hazard, and
Yeah.
they put seats on top of it at some point.
Huh.
So you can sit way on top of that thing.
That's
But
amazing.
like, yeah, look at the scale of the player compared to that wall. It is massive. And a lot of guys that, pull balls to left field, thinking they're going to get a shallow home run. No, you don't.
No.
It bangs off the wall and it's back in play. Like,
Dang.
it's not a home run. Like,
Dang.
it's like you need to go ahead and get to the base you're going to get to and stop. Right. So that's a case of like that is a hazard
Yeah.
at a ballpark. Like,
Yeah.
and they all have their own dimensions and stuff. And I could tell you a million more, but people get bored. But those are two of the really remarkable stadiums that have like a really kind of crazy feature in them. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really
that
cool.
can affect
I do
play.
like that. Yeah.
So
yeah.
let's see. So Paul's saying, "Hey, Em, it's fine. It's fine if you don't like Trek, man. Just come on back." And it looks like Em did come back, so everything's good.
Everything's good. We can keep on.
So, yeah. So Shannon, your wife, drops. Oh, I have a baseball-related query for Ryan. Have you heard of the minor league baseball team of Montgomery, Alabama? I believe you're talking about the Montgomery Biscuits, who are the Tampa Bay Rays AA affiliate.
What does that mean?
Minor league ball. There's AA. So there's high A. God, what's our team called in high A? I can't remember. Then there's AA. So that's how you work through that. You work through the minors when you're a rookie. Like when you just get drafted, they put you in the minor leagues and you play in the minor leagues for like a amount of time.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
The beginning of the big league minor league stuff where you're like, okay, like this is real still is AA Montgomery, which is AA Montgomery Biscuits in Alabama. From there, you go up to the AAA Durham Bulls, which the movie's named after and stuff like that. They're our AAA affiliate. And then you move up to the show. You move up to the Major League Baseball.
Okay.
But we send players down to AAA all the time. Like if a pitcher gets injured, and they need like to get some real baseball action in, but we don't want to bring them back yet because they need, they'll start in AAA. They'll pitch in AAA or they'll play in AAA for a little bit, then come back up.
Interesting.
Anyway, oh man,
yeah,
we have a lot in the chat. I'm trying to. Did Brad mascot for the Springfield Isotopes at some point? Or is he more of a capital city goofball? I mean, I don't know. Do you have any mascot experience?
I moonlight as DJ Kitty.
He moonlights as the
DJ
Rays' own
Kitty.
DJ Kitty at times.
Okay.
He's also a gigantic DJ Kitty fan. He roots for them in the mascot race on TV every time.
There's a
let's play
mascot.
ball.
Oh,
That's
I
right.
have seen that.
Oh yeah, fifth inning. Oh yeah,
Well,
man. They get it down. But let's see. Catching balls like Mr. Bucket Stadium.
Well, speaking of mascots,
do.
yeah. Go ahead. You're talking about
Yeah.
him catching balls.
Oh, I just said that's it. That's it.
Well,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So that's
you go
what
ahead and read. I've been reading
inspired.
for a while.
That's what inspired this whole thing, the mascots. So my wife, Shannon, my wife, the Phantom Wire, she was like, "Hey, you got to come see this. You got to see this." And yeah, this guy that we watch, he went to Montgomery, Alabama, and saw
Nice.
a game and everything, and was buying the stuff, and he was showing off what he got, and they showed the mascot, Ryan, and you know your boy. I'm a sucker. Do you know where this is going? Because it's going to Gumpy.
I'm very familiar with the mascot for Montgomery. Yeah. He is a biscuit.
I love it so much. He's a biscuit.
And the butter is his tongue.
The butter is his tongue, Ryan. The butter is his tongue. Oh my God, this makes me so happy.
It is so weird that this is the one that kind of you saw on YouTube and like tripped your wife out.
Yeah.
Because yes, like I am very familiar with Montgomery.
Oh my God.
Like it is one of the weirdest. What is one of the weirdest minor league mascots? There are some weird high A teams, bro.
Yeah.
That are weird. There is a team called the Udder Tuggers. And their logo is like a cow looking like it's about to fight you with its udders like hanging out. Like it's crazy.
Goodness.
There's a lot going on with Montgomery.
He's got bacon in this one, Ryan. Why does he?
I know the bacon. I don't know if I've seen the bacon logo.
So this is right up my wife and I's alley, like 100%. If y'all want to get us into anything, show us a mascot that's like got. It's the same thing with Buc-ee's, the gas station. It's like as soon as I saw the billboard that said "The Beaver Never Sleeps," I was in. I'm done.
You knew you were in.
I knew it was love. And this thing is one of my new favorite things. Like I love Gumpy so much that we might at some point in my near future have to go make a trip to go get some Gumpy merchandise.
So you can get yourself a badass MLB quality on-field style fitted hat for the Montgomery Biscuits, and it will have Gumpy on it.
Dang.
Like
I might,
and it's because it's like official MLB merchandise. It's minor league baseball. It's like a real deal. Like it's
that's
they
awesome.
do have a team that you might want to look up real fast called the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Really? No, they don't.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Rocket
City,
City.
Huntsville, Alabama.
Well,
they're also in Alabama.
That auto,
I believe it's
corrected.
Huntsville.
Ooh,
Trash
that
Pandas,
mascot's
how cute is
neat.
that?
Oh my goodness, that's adorable. He's
How cute is that, dude?
Yeah, that's. Oh my goodness. Hopefully, Shannon, my wife's seeing this too, and then this might get us into baseball. Ryan, who knew? I mean, I'd watch it for the mascots, but like you know what I'm saying?
The minor league teams are fun. Like they don't like they're like really fun.
I love this so much. Like I love I love playing baseball. I love playing video games of it. I hate watching it, but now I know that I love their mascots and everything. So now this is like a whole nother layer of something that I know that you love that I can kind of appreciate as well.
Yeah, no, we can get in on this. No, but, I am like I've been one impulse purchase away probably for the last couple of years from buying a Trash Pandas hat. Yeah, I've come so close to buying it, and we're actually going in June to go see the Durham Bulls play in Durham, North Carolina.
Dang,
and that's kind of the whole point of the trip. Like we're going out there to see Durham, and see the Bulls play, and then just kind of explore Durham.
That's awesome.
But yeah, like, of course, the Bulls. You know what I mean? They're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's the Mississippi Jumbo Shrimp, I think, is a team.
Oh my lord, that's amazing.
They're very interesting. But yeah,
goodness, I love that so much.
Let me see on the DL.
Okay.
If I can look up Udder Tuggers and make sure nothing undue comes up.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh, no, you just literally just Google Udder Tuggers and nothing bad will come up.
Okay. Good. Thank you for taking that.
And you can see their logo. Yeah. And oh my God, dude, their uniforms are like cow print.
Oh my Lord.
Dude.
Okay.
And their hats, like some of their hats have cow print. Dude. Oh
my Lord. All right, hold on. Let me get there again. Okay.
Yeah, sorry guys. This is a bit of
I hope y'all appreciate this because this is some
diversion.
Stuff that
we're about to do some real hard-boiled turtle news here in a minute. So don't worry.
But like this is some stuff that I would love to see. Like, I could see like a correlation with the Mutanimals with this. Like, in a weird way. Like there's some kind of connection there. But that's adorable. Oh my goodness, the Udder Tuggers.
They're somehow affiliated with the Brewers.
Yeah.
And I think they may also go by the name the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers too. Because if you actually look all around that, like the website stuff, it's like Timber Rattlers.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they're a high A minor league team. For the Brewers. So like you have a lot of Brewers players going through player development, playing for the Udder Tuggers.
It said moving merch up here, but I don't think you could see it.
Oh.
Moving merch.
That's goddamn pretty great. How about the hat though? Look at that hat with the cow print and look at the logo.
Yeah, that's pretty,
tell me
that's sick. I appreciate that.
You'd have people 100%. Looking at you like, bro, what's that hat?
100%.
Like you'd have guys like, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on with your hat? And you'd be like, oh, you're not down with high A mall? You're not down with the Udder Tuggers? That's cool.
Is that like listening to indie bands? It's like I only listen to indie bands and like unsigned band, underground bands.
Yeah.
Kind of
you're like, all right, man. Okay. I guess you don't know my friend's band. I guess you're not good. I guess you don't like music.
But when Shannon showed me that biscuit, Gumpy, my heart sank. I was in love, and so that. But thank you for showing me the Trash Pandas and the Udder Tuggers. That goodness, that makes me so happy.
I feel like a weird kinship with has been improved with me and Shannon, your wife. Now that we're all on the Montgomery Biscuits, how cute that logo is.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I love it.
That's awesome.
So catching back up with
biscuits.
chat, let's see. Yeah, so Shannon, my wife, the Phantom Wire, the YouTuber we watch was Adam the Woo. He's a huge Rays fan, went to Alabama to see a game and buy some TB Montgomery merch. M. Wilson said he used to watch the Woo,
Nice.
which I've watched. Adam, I enjoy his stuff. It's just real kind of slice of life stuff. So if you just need something to put on, it's pretty good. Let's see. Oh, Jason coming in with Cuddly and the Fighting Utters. See, that's what I'm talking about. There was something there with the Mighty Mutanimals and these minor league things like that. I love that. And Wilson, he started. He's talking about Adam the Woo doing baseball content, and they're going back and forth about it. Wait a minute. So Paul's talking about Paul Calicote in the chat saying, I was having a discussion with a friend that said TMNT, the CGI movie, is not movie 4 because it's animated. No, that
I don't
think
agree with that.
so. No. I think
I
that
can
it
see
totally
you
is.
saying that it's not movie. I can see you saying it's not movie 4 because it's a different continuity, or but to say that you can't have a sequel to a movie be animated when the rest is live action, I don't see how that automatically says
Yeah. If
it's not a sequel.
But see, it's been a while since I've seen it. But I think that it is. So I think what you're saying too is that if a movie is a separate continuity, then yeah, totally. That is a different movie. But if I remember correctly, that movie takes place in the same universe as movie 1, 2, and at least 1 and 2. But no, I've always considered it to be movie 4, I never really called it that. I'd call it 2017 TMNT or 2007. I'm sorry. But no, I don't think that it would. It's kind of like with Star Wars, right? Like how when they did the Clone Wars, and how people consider that canon still. So I guess it's a matter of it's more of a matter of canon as opposed to like movie number, I guess.
Yes,
if that makes sense.
Well, first of all, I mean, I don't know, whatever. But like, I feel like yes, same continuity, but it's like you could also like criticize movie 3 for being like what continuity is there between movie 2 and movie 3 besides like April and Casey, like the actors, because nothing really.
The only
you know
other
what I'm trying
thing,
to say,
I understand what you're saying. The only other thing is the layer. That's the only other thing, is that the layer is the subway layer.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I mean, of course, like movie 3 is movie 3, and of course it's the same continuity. But you know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean. Like, if we're gonna start talking about like what's a movie and what's not a movie, I mean, like to be honest, like literally only 1 and 2 are really connected, like story wise.
Right.
Like, and after that, we're just naming movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're just naming nuts at that point.
Schindler's List is movie 5,
right?
Yeah,
people forget that that's turtle related. I always hate that.
Yeah,
I hate being the guy now that I have glasses. Well, actually, Schindler's List, Michelangelo, he had a compelling speech in there.
Well, and of course, Paul, not trying to make light of your friend. I mean, like, of course, like their opinions are opinion and stuff. I just think like
it's all right.
I just think, I could see for your own personal taste. Now, remember, the quote is, the customer is always right. Matters of taste. You know what I'm saying? And to your taste, I would respect you saying like that's not my scale. Like that's not my movie 4. Like I don't consider that movie 4 because it's animated, it's different, and it's just, to me, if it doesn't involve those costumes, it's not really in the keeping with movies 1 through 3. And I would accept that. I'd be like, no, word, like how am I going to argue you into thinking that movie is your scale? Like I'm not. You know what I mean? But is it movie 4? Yes, because it takes place in the same continuity.
Yeah.
So deal with it what you will. The definition is that objectively it is movie 4. Now subjectively, in your own opinion, it may not be. You know what I'm saying? Your mileage may vary.
Indeed. Well, M. Wilson says Batman works on the same principle. Precedent is set, and then continues to say that Utter Tugger mascot joins the Mutanimals for Chico Mendez. Oh, that'd be excellent.
He says traded, and I don't know if what that means is like Utter Tugger got traded to the Mutanimals, because that would actually be very baseball.
That would be
very baseball. Like if all of a sudden, like middle of the night, they make a deal. It's like, oh, just announcing you Mutanimals, trade, freaking Dreadmon to the Undertuggers for
Yeah.
Undertugger. And you're like, what? Oh shit! Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Now he's joined.
Yeah. See, that'd be kind of a neat thing to do, kind of like a on a grand scale where you have the intergalactic racing or not racing wrestling organization with Stump and Stick, except instead of wrestling, or it could still be wrestling potentially, but like you could have like more of a monetized superhero, like League of Superheroes, where you have all these cool like heroes and villains, and they're all across the universe, and you have to trade to like, oh, our planet is dying, we need like better superheroes, what can we trade to get these superheroes?
Bro.
Wouldn't that be neat? I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I think that'd be kind of
Bro,
cool.
no, that's badass. Actually, holy shit! I just had
Copyright
another
turtle
idea.
suit.
Like, you sparked something in me, dude.
Ooh,
Bro,
So wouldn't
we
be
should
the
have a
first time.
heroes and villains. We should have a heroes and villains draft.
that's neat. Okay, that'd be neat.
You know,
Yeah, those are fun. I do enjoy those for a reason, I guess, because it's kind of like fantasy baseball,
What?
isn't it? Sort of, kind of.
yeah.
Okay.
Like it would just be fun to try to compile our like ultimate team
That would be neat.
of villains and heroes from the TMNT universe, and do
That might
that
be
for like a
something-
chef special or something.
That's what I was about to
and
say,
we could clip
yeah.
that too and put it on YouTube in another
Yeah.
form. But I feel like for a draft, we would almost need more people.
I mean,
I feel like for a draft, we might need to have a secret guest star on or two.
oh, okay. We might can arrange that.
Maybe like once again, we haven't breached these boundaries, but maybe a couple Turtletarians on there, because they got to be people that know. They got to know like all this crap. They got to know all these characters. They got to know, and they got to be
Yeah.
able to make arguments for like why they chose their draft pick.
Mm.
So I feel like the ideal number would be like 3 or 4,
Okay.
like of us doing it, and
Yeah.
we would have a draft board we could make with like all the available people, right? Because I
Okay.
think we have to choose off of a draft board
Yeah.
that has like all the characters that are able to be drafted are drafted,
Mm-hmm.
and they're on the board.
Mhm.
And then we do heroes and villains, and then maybe at the end of each one we have to argue why ours is the best,
Oh, okay.
or they face off or something. I don't know. That sounds like really fun.
It does sound like a lot
Like
of fun.
really, really fun.
Yeah, we might have to, like you said, do it on a chef special. So we'll have to put that in the percolator. But yeah.
Oh, I need to like find a way to write that down somewhere.
Okay. While you're doing that, Paul
I don't
Calicote
wanna-
says,
I don't want to lose this baby.
thank you. I was telling him that it's the 4th movie. There is a trophy wall in TMNT. He also continues to say, yeah, we had to agree it was not his scale, but I know it's number 4. So yeah, there you go. Some people are just allowed to be wrong, and it's tough, but you gotta let them be. And Wilson says that it sounds like Secret Wars, and yes, it does sound a lot like Secret Wars. So if like the Beyonder, I guess there are multiple Beyonders. Kind of like if they did a draft of heroes and villains, but just like something like that would be really neat, at least in my opinion. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, we might have to do that. All right. Well, I think I'll have to see. I think we're getting ready to get into some news. We got some stuff we want to talk to y'all about and get y'all's thoughts on and whatnot. Keep y'all up to breast, if you will. So as Ryan's writing that down.
Oh, I have to.
Yeah, you have to. Is that a new Rays hat? I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, this is a new one. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I always get a new hat for the season. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
I got a regular TB game day that has to be bought. You know what I mean? Every year, and then I got this one because it looked cool.
Because it looked cool. You can't argue with because it looks cool. Like you can't argue.
So
with
this
that.
one's neat
Holds up in
because
court.
it's so your boy don't play games with the hats. You know what I mean?
Right.
They got to be fitted. Number one,
Have to be.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like what else are you doing? You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're fitted.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it is that it's actually it's like mesh. You can't see it. You won't be able to see it.
No.
But it's like a dark mesh. You can't see through it, but it's that dark mesh material.
Oh, okay.
So it's got a different texture. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
It looks sharp.
Well, that's awesome.
And this little logo is a little plastic. It's like rubber.
Interesting. So it's like a mixed
It's like
media
rubber. It's
hat.
like glued on there.
Dang.
Mixed media hat.
I like it. Well, guys, well, thank y'all so much for
That old logo.
Oh, that's true. That is the old logo.
It is a logo.
The real old logo was just Satan. Like it was Tampa Bay Satan. And but
Yeah.
they
No, it was.
got they got rid of old Satan and went with Devil Rays, and it's a whole thing. Just Google it. But guys, thank you so much for joining us and stuff. We're still gonna be kicking it here with the Chef Special, but I think it's about time.
Yeah, it's about time
to do some news. So, without any further ado, here we go. Welcome, everyone. Turtle Soup Podcast, Channel 6 to Midnight News. I'm Eric Crosby.
Time. And I'm Ryan Guy.
And our top story tonight, guys, we have some stuff to talk about. We have NECA and the Fwoosh did an interview a while back with NECA's own Trevor Zammit. And he was laying out all this stuff. I think it happened around January, December, somewhere at the beginning and end of the last year. And he was talking about all this stuff, and they were dropping hints that none other than Judith Hoag herself, April O'Neil from movie 1, would be the inspiration, I guess, or somehow, I forget the wording that they used, but nevertheless, the idea was that if you were wondering where the Universal Monsters Turtles line was, like in the I guess the canon of NECA's toy collection, like if it was its own thing or if it was part of something else, they kind of were dropping the hints that it's definitely a part of the movie line, and that Judith Hoag would be the Judith Hoag as April O'Neil as the Bride of Frankenstein. And so we did a video about it and we talked about it, and we had our art department, in fact, draw up a composite of what it could look like. And I believe this is what they came up with. And to be honest, I think it's pretty close. I mean, there's some differences, subtle differences, but for the most part, from what we are about to show you, it's pretty spot on. So we're really proud of our art team for pulling that together last minute. But, so now NECA, though, after all these months of speculation and wonder and concern and prayers and everything, they have finally heard all of our outcries, wanting to know, like, when are we going to see? Because they've revealed everything else. They showed Leo as the Hunchback, and then they showed Raph as, which is already out, Raph as Frankenstein, or Frankenstein's monster, excuse me, and Mikey will be the mummy. But they showed April in silhouette. Well, no longer. This April, Judith Hoag got on to her social media, and I think she took over NECA's as well. And they said that basically, hey, here it is. I'm going to be this, and here's the thing. And they showed what NECA's been using the last few times for their reveals, which were the stop motion, really awesome stop motion commercials for these things. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out on their Instagram account. And they're really neat. And they revealed the figure in full, and it's really awesome. And so definitely go check that out. But we managed to get a screen cap from the website toyarc.com, another really good resource for toy news and everything like that. And yeah, we're going to take a look at that right now. So let's see what we got here. We have Miss Judith Hoag as April O'Neil as the Bride of Frankenstein. And this looks way better than what our art department came up with, but still not too far off. Now, this figure is pretty rad. It's essentially, I don't know anything else about it. They haven't put out the actual press release yet, letting you know all the different stuff. But from what we can gather here, she's definitely going to come with a metal chain purse that has a lock on it. And she's done up as you can see, the Bride of Frankenstein. She has a scepter that's also sort of like an old school microphone. that you would see like a broadcast microphone that says WTRL on it, for turtle. And then if we move down, we can see that she does come with another set of hands. So she has two open, two gripping. She comes with two rats. One of them looks like it has an ear on it. Maybe I'm mistaken or something. It's very strange. And she also comes with a separate head featuring a different facial expression. And then the last thing she comes with, as far as we can tell from what's shown here, is one of Raphael's lightning bolt size in case that she's late for her Sony payment again and gets caught in the subway, So that is the reveal. And they said that there's going to be an official press release coming soon, but that's what we're looking at as far as what we're going to get with this figure from what we can tell. Now, so Ryan, what are you thinking about this? Because, like you may recall last time we talked about this, we brought up some issues with her knees, the April O'Neil figure from the movie one, that her knees were a little strange. And now granted, we even said when we addressed it that we know that making action figures like the fleshy parts can be difficult, especially if it's on an articulation joint. So what do you think about this figure? Is right off the dome, what are your thoughts?
We inadvertently ruined that April O'Neil, unfortunately, for one of our Trinitarians. I'm still upset about that. That's a little of that. Like now, a little that 8mm. You can't. What you've seen, you can't unsee. Situation that we dropped on our unfortunate listener. I think that they look good here. I think that the makeup of April in general, just as the Bride of Frankenstein, it detracts a lot away because the whole thing, and this is very important, she's not supposed to be a normal human.
Right.
So anything you see with the knees and anything you see with articulation, I mean, like, she's not just a straight human. Like, they're not just going for straight, like, flesh-colored stuff, right? She has more of that pale look. So I think that automatically makes it look way better, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And I agree. The one thing I wish they would have done is around the knees, maybe thrown on some stitching, which they have it above, like on the upper thighs. But if they would have had the stitches there, that would have really added to that and made it up. But now I think I'm looking at it now. No, that's just the leg still. I thought they had lowered her pants, but I think what they are is just wrappings. Like almost like mummy wrappings, and so they look like kind of like mummy capris, and I thought they were a lot longer, but apparently no, that's still her leg. So, but again, this is a screen cap from a live motion commercial, and they're gonna be sending out like high res stuff pretty soon and more details. But what do y'all think? We want to know. Do you like this figure? Are you gonna get it? Are you gonna have her on your shelf? Like, are you a fan of them including this in the movie line? And I want to know, what other lines would you want to see the movie line specifically cross over with? That's what we want to know. Let us know in the comments, and you can email us at turtlesoupshow@gmail.com.
Well, I'll say one thing just to tack on the very end there is that I'm a huge fan of that ribbon mic scepter that she has. The vintage microphone guy in me loves that. And it's so perfect for the old, like, kind of RKO Productions look of everything.
Yeah.
I just had to kind of tack that on because I didn't get a chance to say it. I am a huge fan of that, and that was a great touch.
Yeah, so it looks fantastic.
But let us know what you guys think of that. I mean, like, because it's it's something that we've been kind of treading toward for a while, like about this figure and stuff. So excited to see more shots of it. That is what I'm really excited to see.
Absolutely.
But in other news, it's Shredder's Revenge. You know what I'm saying? It's happening. More details are coming out about this game all the time. So at PAX East 2022, they had an event regarding Shredder's Revenge. And here is a few factoids that were kind of put out about it. So it's going to have a physical and digital release of the game and the soundtrack, which is interesting. If physical means physical, like, release of the soundtrack, I don't know, like, what form that's going to take, but that would be interesting. And the release period is sometime in the summer of this year. What is summer? You know what I mean? Like, Boys of Summer, endless summer. I mean, you don't know. But either way, summer 2022 is looking like the release date. Now the big bombshell that kind of dropped that was really cool is that it's going to feature the 4 voice actors from the 1987 animated series reprising their roles as the characters for dialogue and diegetics. And once again, that would be Cam Clark playing Leonardo, Barry Gordon playing Donatello, Townsend Coleman playing Michelangelo, and the legendary Rob Paulsen as Raphael. Pretty neat. So along with all those announcements came some more gameplay footage showcasing the voice actors exclaiming their Turtles catchphrases, which is super cool, as well as a behind-the-scenes kind of video on how the game was made. So all that being said, Eric, I mean, I got to know, because this question, every time I see something, every time I see it,
every time,
it doesn't matter what it is. Like if I'm like, oh, nacho fries are back, and I go, I want to know, Eric, are you going to be day and date? And I ask myself this about everything, but on Shredder's Revenge, are you day and date on this one?
I am day and date, Ryan. Most day and date. Yeah. Physical all the way. Physical, like, you know what I mean? I'm always
all
wanting
the way.
Your boy is always about to get physical. Let's get physical. That's how we became friends. Like that's the first thing I said to you. So yeah,
that's a pretty good one. Okay, I like that.
So that's what I'm all about. And but I'd say, but even without the voice cast, I was gonna be there. And so we got some stuff planned on Turtle Soup Prime for this exact thing coming up.
We're gonna be messing with that game.
Yeah, we're gonna be messing with it, so it's gonna be fun. But I definitely think that the voice acting thing, that's an easy win for them. I feel like, because these guys are legendary.
That's just icing. People were hyped about this game beforehand. Like people were already excited about it. It already looked like a lot of fun. They've been promoting the hell out of it.
Yeah,
I mean they're not letting you. I mean, it was announced kind of out of nowhere, and a lot of people were like, "What?" You know what I mean? But since then, they've been just throwing on. They've just been sprinkling on more good stuff, and the original voice cast is it almost like remakes the game.
It does.
For me. You know what I mean? Like
it does.
That's pretty awesome.
Like it was already going to be fantastic without them. Like just no, and they could have gotten anybody, but the fact that they did it, it just adds so much more. And when we were like going through this before the show, I was thinking about like analogous things, like other voice actors that bring a lot to their video game. And I thought about I think it's David Hayter that plays Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid, and his performance is it brings that game to life, and it's just there's so much there. And I believe that's the reason why they keep going back to these 4 from the original 87 animated series.
Oh, it makes it.
And I think that's definitely going to do this game a lot more justice and make it worth your pennies. But like, so I wanted to ask, in the same way that Konami's Cowabunga collection, they got the limited edition that's coming out. What would you like to see, or what would make you, what would make you pop on a limited edition physical release of this game, Ryan? What would make you like over the moon for it?
I'll be honest. So I would like to see a lot of other media involved in the physical release. Ooh. If you had a bigger box that had, maybe like 8x10s or something like art prints would be really cool for me. Because I'm kind of trying to amass enough stuff to hang up around the house, and I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I would say, it's funny. I'd say a poster, but I'm kind of like, well, I mean, like it's gonna be folded up. It'd be kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times you see a poster, like that's cool, but like I got my lines in it now, and it's kind of strange. I think the thing I would, when I really press myself physically, what would I want to see in a physical release? It would be maybe it being released in an antiquated format that can't really support it, like an NES cartridge or something like that. It'd be like I can't play this on NES.
Right, you can't play it, but it's nice to look at. Oh, that's interesting.
Yes,
I hadn't thought about that, but because oh man, because there's a lot of musical subgenres that do things on like mini disc and things like that people obviously still have, and you can play the stuff on it. But the idea that some people just get it just because it looks cool, like a cassette tape just looks cool.
Yeah, or maybe I tell you what, actually, I'll take is some for PlayStation 5,
Okay.
of course, exclusive. I would want pad like the joystick replacement parts that are
Oh,
2 mini Jose Canseco bats that you screw into your controller,
that's
and
amazing.
you can like use the Jose Canseco bats to like play the game, like a
Right.
like a 2 joystick situation.
Right, and then they
You know what
have
I mean?
one that's
Yeah.
they have one that's for cricket that you could put on there, but you have to understand what crumpet is before you understand cricket. Is that how that works?
Yeah. No, you understand cricket or whatever it is. Yeah, and
Yeah,
then,
one-
and then
one way or
the we'll get crucified for not remembering that line.
I know,
but
but, you know.
you know, word for word. But yeah, and then on the front of the box it says, tell me you didn't pay money for this.
Yeah,
But with no context.
No
With
context at all.
It doesn't say, oh, it includes mini Jose Canseco bat joystick controller. It doesn't say that.
no, doesn't say
It
that.
doesn't nowhere on the box. You just get that's just surprise.
Right,
But it's got RAF and it says, tell me you didn't pay money for this.
like it's at the bottom.
That's what would
it's
be important for
purposefully
me
at
in
the
a
bottom,
physical-
so you have to shake it out like a
Yes.
cereal
Yes.
prize. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Well, I think that like since they mentioned the soundtrack, I would love to see a vinyl release of this because like something about that 12-inch artwork and the artwork,
Yeah.
all the artwork that they've shown for this game has been fantastic. So I would love to see that. Much like how they did for the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World video game, they did that.
That's what when they say physical release, unless they were just speaking oddly, and when they say physical release of the soundtrack, I mean that equals vinyl, right?
That's what I would think.
Like,
but
nowadays, you know what I mean? Like,
at least,
you're gonna
especially
put a
nowadays.
CD, you're gonna put a CD out. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I mean, how much more relevant is vinyl now than compact disc? Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy? Just
It's
that's
wild.
a side topic.
Yeah.
But think about that now. I mean, no, I think physical release means vinyl.
I think so too, and
Now,
I would like to
for
see
music.
that
I
now.
don't think it means CD or anything else.
Yeah. Now the only other thing I could think of would be if like they put out like a cake pan or like something weird like that you just wouldn't think of. Like, oh, there's a little cake pan that I can make a little turtle cake.
You
out
have
of.
been asking for a cake pan of little turtle characters now. This is the second time you've mentioned this.
I thought I had, but I couldn't
need
remember if I did.
You absolutely.
I love
have.
that this
has
is a
become-
thing.
Now this is like a fixation thing.
I love it. I didn't realize it, but somebody make me a cake pan.
But yeah. Jesus. Anyways, guys, let us know what you think about all these announcements. Ton of announcements going on. Hit the comments below. You can always email us at turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. That's the hotline. Are you going physical or digital on this? I mean, I know I'm going digital. I've been digital on games for the last like bunch of years. I can't remember the last time I bought a physical game. Might have been like Red Dead 2 or something like that.
Oh,
I think it might have been
dang.
the last game I bought on disc. Does the especially with the new voice cast announced and stuff being the old school cast, like does that kind of thing like flip your switches, or do you have an alternate take on that? Are you kind of like, well, that doesn't mean a whole lot to me, you know what I mean? Like maybe I didn't grow up with that, so that's not really like a thing I put as much stock in as a lot of people. Just let us know your take, because we're very interested to hear hot, cold, or otherwise. Don't forget that we're always live Thursday at 8:00 with the Turtle Soup Podcast, where you can catch the news live if you'd like to on Thursdays, as well as all of our other Turtle content.
Indeed. So
see ya. So I guess we don't have a good sign off line yet.
We don't.
For the news, but I think I want to try one out.
Okay, go for it.
You ready?
Yeah.
For Ryan Guy, for Eric Crosby and Channel 60 Midnight News, have a snack. We'll be right back.
Oh my goodness, I loved that so much.
And
That
we're
was
back.
so good. We're back. I loved it. Have a snack.
And we're back.
Write that
snack.
down.
We'll be
Write
right
that down
back.
so we don't forget.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah, it's in the,
I love
it's in the
that.
spank bank.
But guys, yeah, let's see. Get back with the chat. Let's see. Oh, I can't scroll up. I forgot for some reason. It doesn't let me. Yeah.
You need me to?
Yeah, if you don't mind picking up my Slack.
Yeah, no, I got
know.
you, dude.
Thank
I
you.
mean, there's only
Thank you,
one
Mama
set of
Bird.
footprints for me, so I can't go the other way. Let me see. So Darth Machio in chat, the N in NECA must stand for narcotics because their
dang.
turtles line is more addicting than crack.
Oh, indeed.
Yes.
I agree.
Absolutely. There's just so much. There's just so much. And it's only getting more intense. Another thing I'm gonna write down is that we do need to get that NECA cash total graphic going on.
Oh yeah, we do. Oh, I forgot about that.
We talked. I honestly, it's been so long because I missed last week. Oh, I didn't tell everybody. So I missed last week. I was sick. Like I had a crappy cold. It wasn't COVID. It was just a crappy cold. It felt like total garbage. Coughing my head off. Couldn't do the show. I apologize. But I can't remember if we talked about it on the show or if it was me and you after a show. But we talked about making a graphic that every time we did NECA news, like oh, and more figures announced, more figures, whatever. Every time they were announced, we would just take their like retail value, their MSRP, and just add it to this like ongoing chart, like or a graphic that if you bought everything, this is how much money you'd spend.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it'd be awesome.
I think it'd be
I
funny.
am worried about triggering some of you guys a little bit. Like I feel like, and I mean, at first it might be funny. And this is what I'm worried about. This is why we need if we do this, we need really good feedback from you guys, especially you guys like Darth Machio and everybody that's in on these runs and it has been talking to us in chat about like it's a lot of money. I have excuse me, I'm poor. Like because of NECA. If it ever gets too bad where you go from like haha to like no, I hate that. Please let us know.
Yeah,
because I feel like that's something that people would all of a sudden get really mad at and be like, oh man, I'm sorry. We thought we still thought it was funny. Right. Like I'm sorry. So let us know. And Wilson in chat's dropping Ride of Einstein. Trying to say Bride of Einstein. I don't know what's going on. I think M. Wilson, I think we broke him. I think I said Mike Patton and Star Trek back to back in like the same sentence, and now he's just like Ride of Einstein. And I'm like, yeah, no, absolutely. That's exactly what happened. Paul Calico, look at them knees. Looks a little better than regular April.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do look better.
Darth Machio, the alternate mummy Michelangelo head looks like the heads used in the 1990 movie that are now decaying.
It does.
That
I think it's by design.
That's dead on. Oh, I know. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't doubt it. Let's see here. Oh, now he's 79 dB, or get the fuck out. 79 dB. You were like quizzing me. You're quizzing me.
You're making you work.
Fuck, I should
He's
know
working.
that. 79
making you work for
decibels
it.
are good. I mean, are you talking about how quiet our show normally is? That we're at like are we at negative 79 dBVU and you're calling us out on it? Like, is that what you're doing? Because somehow everyone else's podcasts, like the live streams, are like loud as shit, and ours is like you got to get the hearing horn to like hear us unless we talk like really loud, and I will never know why. I just don't know why.
Yeah, it's a weird science experiment. The fact that we've made this thing work. Everything's maxed out.
That's very true.
It's wild, and I don't know how it's even working. So yeah.
So I've got one from Paul. How about TMNT X-Men? And
okay.
I feel like that's in relation to like toys.
Yes.
And,
and the
like TMNT X-Men, I guess, or
the movie. The movie thing that I talked about, like if instead of the movie line going with monsters, if it went with some other property, that would be neat. But then you're dealing with the movie X-Men, and so then you're just dealing with a bunch of turtles in leather, which, as I say it out loud, it's not the worst thing. It would just be, and they'd have hair. I guess the turtles in this line do have hair. At least, if you call Frankenstein's monsters hair, then yeah. But that's the only weird thing I could think of. But that would be neat though. I guess because it would be the original movie. So or you could do First Class and have some blue and yellow in there, and that'd be kind of neat to make it pop a little bit. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm blue and yellow. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. So we did have something in the chat. I did just a bit of Googling to follow up. That is from Darth Machio again. Any idea if it'll be a wide physical release or something more limited? So the release from PAX, like about physical, literally reads. This is from Niche Gamer. After its digital release, TMNT Shredder's Revenge will score physical editions courtesy of limited run games in the US, Merge Games in Europe, HappyNet Corporation in Japan, and H2 Interactive across Asia.
Oh,
that is it.
So limited run is going to be
Limited Run Games is the company that's going to be doing the physical version for the US.
Let me do some.
I don't know what, like, you know what I mean? Like, I understand your question though, because will it be a thing of like, you know, limited run meaning like pre-order? Do you know what I'm trying to say? You're trying to talk, and I'm just talking. So go ahead.
If this is limited run games, like the company that made the Scott Pilgrim,
it is.
Okay, then we're in for a treat because
it is. It's gonna be pretty
blow
wild.
it
Looking at limited run and like what they do is wild.
Now with them doing it, they did put out the Scott Pilgrim, and I didn't think about this when we did the episode or the news segment, but they did put out the Scott Pilgrim soundtrack on CD, even though it had already been released on vinyl years before. But I bought the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World game from them, the Switch version, and it is decked out. It's got all kinds of stuff that is really cool, maps, posters, all this stuff. And yeah, so if they're handling this, this is going to be it. Now the problem, the downside, I should say, is that it's going to be it's going to cost you a pretty penny. Now, the good thing is you're getting you're getting your money's worth. So as opposed to the limited edition Cowabunga collection from Konami, I don't think that's worth the money. But but
so limited run games really fast, just on their website, limited run games in their coming soon category has not announced TMNT. So there's Shredder's Revenge. So there's nothing official on their site about it.
Right.
However, just to give you an idea, they have a limited run Contra Anniversary Collection coming out for PS4, $65. A lot of their products run $65. There is another PS4 version that doesn't seem like it has as much crazy packaging. That's $35. Then they have a limited edition Contra Anniversary that's $180.
Yeah,
for Switch.
Yeah.
So their prices run kind of up and around.
They do. But they put out some good stuff.
That being said, that they put games out on like SNES and NES, like now.
Yeah,
which is pretty crazy. So
it is.
It's gonna. I wonder what formats it'll be for. I take it it'll be like PS4, PS5.
Yeah, and what they'll do though is
stuff like that.
Like they did. They had a version of Scott Pilgrim, if I'm not mistaken, that looked like it was for the Sega Genesis. Like the box was like that, but it was for something else, or I could be mistaken. But one way or the other, they do weird packaging variants like that. Because remember how the Sega Genesis boxes, the game boxes, were like a weird clamshell that was black and was different. They did stuff like that for different games. But yeah, they provided a wide variety of different options. Like one of the Scott Pilgrim ones that I remember, they had a set, like a physical stage that you could put some of your cutout figures on that they came with. And nice. It's phenomenal, the stuff. I was very impressed, and I'm a stickler. Like, I don't like to spend money a lot. I mean, I love buying things. I just don't like to spend money. But if you appeal to my logic and stuff, like that, and that's what they did, and they got me on that. And so, and then to further double down on the Scott Pilgrim thing, that game changed. If you haven't played that game, it's amazing. But it'll probably give you a good idea as to what the Turtles game is going to be like, because that game took all the best elements of side-scrolling beat-em-up video games and made a really modern one that was really cool. And I think this Turtles game is going to do the same thing. So, but
so to give you kind of like a reference, okay? So, in 2022, a game called Unpacking was released. Okay, indie game. But it went through who's the publisher? The dev was Witchbeam, and the publisher was Humble Bundle. All right, so Limited Run went out with this lineup. Okay, and these are all on available for pre-order right now. They have the game on Switch for $35. They have the game on PS5 for $35. Game on PS4 for $35. Then they have the 2 LP vinyl soundtrack
Yeah.
for $40.
Yeah.
So just to give you guys kind of an idea, that's probably the array we're going to see presented for Shredder's Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Is going to be physical release copies of the game for all the major platforms.
Yeah.
That it's released on. And then the soundtrack will have a vinyl release like this. And it sounds like they just run a pre-order game.
Mm-hmm.
They
do.
leave pre-orders open for a while, and then you get yours or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And they tell you you can order it, and then they have like a whole last chance section on their website where you know what I mean? You're like looking up like, all right, well, your last chance. You know what I mean? And then they close the doors. I'm excited. So doing a little deep dive more into like Limited Run, that makes me actually really excited for this.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be in on physical, but like their production quality's got me kind of going a little bit.
I've been thoroughly impressed with everything I saw and what I got. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. So back in the chat, Jason Nieswander says hardbook or hardcover book. Yeah, you know your boy. That gets me 6 to midnight hardcover. Downside is that it would be a smaller format. That's my only caveat about that, to fit in the package theoretically for a standard game. But still, it'd be really rad for it one way or the other. M. Wilson says Catwoman April pinup. I know that might get Ryan to pop on in more ways than one.
Done.
Yeah,
done.
So
Sold.
Darth Machio, for starters, a better price tag than the Konami Special Edition. Yes, indeed, because that an extra $110 is not is ridiculous. Let's see. Paul Calico, physical for PS and digital for the Switch. Also pre-ordered the Mega Front Tail Cowabunga collection. Well, hey, if that's your thing,
I like that tactic.
Yeah.
I like that tactic. I think I like that tactic. You know, PlayStation, physical, Switch. I like to mess with little cartridges, run digital on the Nintendo Shop there. And yeah, I think that, see, it's interesting. Everyone has a different use case for each of their different platforms, which is pretty cool.
Oh, Jason, that's a great idea. Release of the turtle cereal bowls that came in the shrink wrap of the original cereal and the suction cup plushies.
Or the suction cup plushie.
I love the suction cup plushies. I have a dog that's dead in my parents' backyard because it used to have relations with the turtle on its face. It was weird, but we buried the turtle with the dog when it died. So some archaeologist is gonna find like a bin of dog bones and a plush.
Did you say it was like a Rubbermaid bin that has like a dead dog and a turtle plushie in it?
Yeah.
I like that you buried it with its eternal love. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. We had to. I love it.
That's some I'll follow you into the dark shit right there.
It is. And the cereal bowls, dude, I had the cereal bowl too, and I loved that thing, but it was freaky because it was looking at you and it was kind of judging you. Be like, did you
the turtle was coming up looking at you a little bit. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh yeah, you watch out.
Yeah. So Paul Calico says, LMFAO, I'm eating chips. I think that's whenever you said the snack thing. I think when you said the snack, he said that.
Oh yeah, no, grab a snack. We'll be right back. No, I mean, thanks for following through on the premise, Paul.
So
that's
good,
legit.
So good. I'm so proud of you. Darth Machio said, I would love the cereal itself to come back. That stuff was delicious. I don't remember how it tasted, but you know,
I don't remember either.
Cereal. It's hard to mess up cereal. I feel like, but what do I know?
But look, bring it back. You know, you can make it taste good.
That's
Make
true.
it taste like Fruity Pebbles, and I'll buy every box of it. So
there you go. M. Wilson comes back with the regarding the 79 dB.
79 dB.
Yeah, headroom for ribbon mics. There you go. That's what it is. So
you need to have a lot of clean headroom on your preamp for that.
Yeah.
So just get ready for that. That's why we use cloud lifters on these RE20s because we want to have like amplify it because their low volume ribbons are incredibly low volume.
Indeed. He doubles down, or he comes back with Hellraiser TMNT crossover. I don't know much about Hellraiser. That's Pinhead, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have different like Cinnabites, which sounds like a delicious snack.
It does.
But it's actually the name of the different hellish figures. The different, I guess they're demons. I don't know exactly like what you would explain them as beings. and they have different ones. They have the one I remember in Hellraiser 3 that had the CD that came out of his head. Like he literally had like a CD player in his head. You could like,
Oh,
like
yeah?
CDs would shoot out, and they had yeah, like it went from being a really serious movie to being a really silly movie. But you could do a whole Hellraiser run of the Turtles. Absolutely.
Interesting.
The question is who's Pinhead. I think everyone get like really upset no matter who you chose. So
That's true. Yeah, you wouldn't make anyone
there's
happy.
that.
Yeah, there's that. And let's see, Paul Calico. I was just picturing the shirt where Leo is Cyclops, Raph is Wolverine, and stuff. Oh, okay, yeah. That I have seen that.
That crossover.
And,
it'd be hot.
yeah. That'd be neat. Let's see, and then So Darth Machio, thanks for the info. That's very exciting, dude. For real, limited to run games. Like they do good stuff. So I am really hyped for that. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So
well, I am going to I think there might be a second for a break. You can keep the show going, but I need to get a drink before we launch into the next thing.
Okay, yeah, go right ahead.
Because we didn't have because everything's all messed up versus the regular episode because we do pregame.
Right.
I get my drinks in, but I have a chance to reload that drink before we start talking for a long time, and now I'm just about parched. You know what I'm saying?
Just about
I need my
parched.
drink.
Well, okay.
So
yeah, go right ahead. I'll just keep going. So yeah, just get on out.
Yeah,
and I'll be here.
get on out.
Yeah. So let me see if I can. Let's see if this does anything. I got a different. Uh-oh.
Let's play ball. Let's play ball. Let's play ball.
Does it say anything else?
Let's play ball.
No, it doesn't need to.
It doesn't. That's beautiful. Yeah. Well, that's real exciting, everybody. I am, like I keep saying, I keep talking about it. The game is just going to be phenomenal if they bring that out with the limited to run games, because the Scott Pilgrim stuff was fantastic. The only thing I didn't like about the Scott Pilgrim release was that they didn't. The CD had the vinyl, like the original pressing of the vinyl artwork on the CD. They got a different cover for the vinyl, and that's the one thing that kept me from doing it. In hindsight, looking back now, when we were looking at it here on the show, I kind of had a little bit of buyer's remorse, or not buyer's remorse, or FOMO or something. Looking at that cover now, I'm like, oh, maybe I should have got it. But yeah, I didn't get that cover. I almost got that record because I've probably told this story on the show before, but the Scott Pilgrim release, the original vinyl release, came out on Record Store Day like years ago, and Father Preston and I went to a local record store here in Florida, and I had tasked him with, and I think this was his first time going, to get the Scott Pilgrim one, and I went for Caven's Jupiter. And so I got Caven's Jupiter, and I think I got Cursive's Domestica, if I'm not mistaken. And I turned and I looked at Father Preston, and he's just standing there, just like bewildered by the sheer mass of people that were around him. And I just saw all the copies of Scott Pilgrim go past him in other people's hands. And I think he had like a breakdown. And I'd totally not considered the fact that like I'm taller than he is, and so when you're taller, you have a privilege of not everyone, but like there's a element of being able to see over people's head in a mass crowd that kind of makes it easier to take in a huge crowd. And I think that triggered something, or something happened, and he was just like, I couldn't do it, I couldn't get it. And so yeah, but that's why I didn't get that. But anyway, well, yeah. So I feel like I was going to say something else, but then again, I always have that feeling. I always have that feeling like there was something else I was going to say and I'm forgetting about it, and then I'll think of it later. But we got one more thing that we're going to do before we close out the chef special, and it's going to take a minute, but it's something we've been putting off for a minute, but not really putting off. It's just taking us a while to get here. And so yeah, so as soon as Ryan gets back, we will get into that. And yeah, but anyway, if there's anything else y'all want to talk about, just hit us up in the chat and we'll run that too. So, and thank you so much everyone for being here and joining us with this. And if y'all like this, let us know, because like we're kind of having fun with this. It sucks that we didn't get to go back through with the Leonardo, the next chapter in Image, which dealt directly with the Big Bang Comics, the last Turtle Soup Prime episode we did. It sucks that we didn't have that to go right to, but we like having these end of the month episodes, and we also, behind the curtain further, we record our bonus episodes for our Patreon members at the end of these. So that gives us time to do that as well. So thank you again to all our patrons, everyone who's listening. If you're a patron, thank you for keeping us from saying clang. And if you want to be one, just head on over to Patreon and you'll get some cool stuff. I've been working on some new things. We want to get some new stuff out to y'all, different swag and whatnot. And there's a couple of things. Oh, I wanted to ask, what do y'all think of air fresheners? Would that be a good idea? Because we found a site that could do it for us, and I'm curious because the idea of having an air freshener on people's rearview mirror, that's what it is. That sounds really neat to me, and I'm fascinated with that idea, or just looking at that. There's something about that that's really I don't know, it warms me up inside. But what scent do we put on it? Like, what scent do you put on a podcast about the Ninja Turtles that's called Turtle Soup, that probably already has a smell to it? Like, is it gonna be like a flavor fake out kind of scent thing? Like, I don't know what that's gonna do, but let us know in the chat or email us or whatever, turtlesoupshow@gmail.com, and let us know what you think about any air freshener scents, and if that's a good idea or not. Because some people, and if it's not, one of the reasons I could see it being is that some people have an allergic reaction to some of that stuff, and we certainly wouldn't want to do that, cause any problems that way. But yeah. So, real quick, checking back in chat, Jason Nieswander says, Switch version cartridge card should come in a re-released Mini Mutants playset instead of a traditional clamshell case. Jason, you're getting all the great ideas tonight, man. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. That would be, I'm kind of thinking it through right now. Oh my goodness, that would be so rad if they did that. I love it. I love that. That's so good. M. Wilson, going back to the Hellraiser, he says Shredhead is Pinhead all day. That's true. Yeah, we always forget about Shredder when it comes to these crossovers. Like, he never gets any crossover action. So it's nice that you're remembering him, and we appreciate you for that. Then let's see here. He says, get the man a drink, Brad. What are we paying you for? Jason says turtle wax. Ooh, that's interesting. As like a Patreon reward? Huh. I wonder how that would ship. That'd be interesting. Sorry, you're giving me all these thoughts, and then I get lost in you can see all the gears turning in my head. M. Wilson, soup scented, I guess. Like, does soup just have a natural scent, like just all soups? I've always liked, I can't say I've always liked, but like in my adult life, I've become a fan of broccoli cheddar and what's the other one we get? Broccoli cheddar and loaded potato, if you will, for those from the northern exposure, as my wife calls it. So I don't know. Like, Ryan, welcome back. I was
Thank you. Thanks. Glad to be here.
I was just asking everybody about the Patreon rewards that we're doing, and the air freshener that we had talked about.
Yeah,
and different.
My first thought would be like, somebody be like, well, it has to be like pepperoni pizza. I'd be like, that could go wrong real fast.
It could go wrong real fast. Like, yeah. So
pork rinds scented.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'm telling you, Jason's getting all these great ideas tonight, dude. All these great ideas.
We have to see. I feel like I feel like a good backbone would be like patchouli. Get that Moss Man going.
That's true. And they got that on hand. I wanted to remind you of something Jason said while you were gone that I think you'd love. So he says, he said that for the Switch cartridge version, it should come in a re-released Mini Mutants playset. Dude, isn't that the best idea you've heard? Isn't that amazing? Limited run games. That would
cost so much money.
Give it your boy Jason Niswander. Let him know. Give him some money. Can
it be in the Turtle and Eternal playset where it's Donnie as
Yeah.
Scud Dick Donnie, but instead it's Switch cartridge comes out of the crotch kind of thing.
Crotch. Yeah. That's how you install it. You put it in the Switch.
If they ever put out like a that collection they were talking about putting out, like that ultimate collection where it's like all the different like games like they're gonna do.
Yeah, the Cowabunga
it should
collection.
come in Switch cartridges. That's in the party wagon that has the shooter, and they should shoot the games at you.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
The pizza thrower.
The pizza thrower. Yeah. Your mom wouldn't let you get it though. Your mom would still tell you, no, you can't have it, Ryan.
No, I mean, no, she let me have it, but there was a scary point where she was going to take it away.
Oh, that's
that
right.
Was I had it, and then this news report came out. I was like, Channel 8 on your side. Kids getting blinded by pizza throwers. She's like, you have that? I'm like, I do. And she's like, oh, it makes me really worried now. And I'm like, come on. But she's like, I'll think about it. And I was like, oh, shit. So, like, that night I played with it like it was the last time. You know, I'm like flinging pizzas everywhere because I was like, oh, this might be it. And then, she just never brought it back up. And I was like, okay, cool.
Like it's the last time. I mean? You're just flinging pizzas. Goodness.
I was just flinging pizzas like it was going to be gone tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because that could be the case. You know what I mean? Like
it could be tomorrow.
Hair today, gone tomorrow. Tomorrow
you might die. Tomorrow you might pop.
Tomorrow you might. The pizza shooter may die. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
Tomorrow you might die. That's the best shit.
That was so good.
Are you ready to launch into this thing?
I am.
What we're going to kind of round out on. So
yeah.
Turtles come out and fight that email contest.
Woo!
When I saw that Noah had to be gone because he had to teach the children, the next generation, to fight with the ninjutsu skills. Mm-hmm. I wept a little interior tear, an inside tear. That was like, man, because of everybody that entered this contest, Noah was the one that was like getting on our ass about doing it.
Oh yeah,
and I have to apologize to everybody. So we learned a lot about how to run simultaneous contests.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot about how to set ourselves up to be able to pay off on the contest in a timely manner. Sadly, this contest was the trial that taught us, look, this is how you have to do this. Yeah. Okay? So we apologize off the bat. We put this thing out there in September of last year, and it is now April, and we're actually finishing it. Now, granted, September, we didn't close off the submissions until more like November-ish. So, I mean, but anyways, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So we decided we had a lot of things we wanted to do for it. Do its own video, do all this different stuff, and then life and a lot of other stuff got in the way as well. So, like I said, it sounds like somebody's about to be sneezing because if you're allergic to excuses, I apologize. Snap. You might need to take some kind of like Claritin or something. You know what I mean? Because we're throwing them everywhere. But we apologize for the delay. But we are going to read out our top 5. So we went through what we got, and we are doing the top 5, which once again, we figured out a lot of our rules as well for like how these things are going to work as well. So, thanks to everybody who submitted. We definitely have a top 5 with a winner that we will read last. But all of these 5 were in contention and consideration for the win. And remember, just to catch you guys up, if you don't remember this or weren't around for it, we had a contest. We have a segment on our show. We haven't done it a lot in a while, called Turtles Come Out and Fight That. Yeah. And the whole premise was it evolved very naturally where people would send us prompts and say like, look, like, there's that house that never gives candy to kids on Halloween. Like Turtles Come Out and Fight That. Or, I was driving down the street and I got blinded because in my rearview mirror, somebody had those like 5K halogen, like white light headlights with their brights on, and it just were blinding the hell out of me. Turtles Come Out and Fight That. And the idea was that, how the Turtles, usually the 87 Turtles, let's be honest, the animated series Turtles, because they're just more fun that way. How would they come out and fight that? And Eric and I had to kind of freestyle the narrative, right? And that was kind of the challenge, like live on the show. Like we had to all right, so I think Donnie would make a thing or unscripted, like Raph would get pissed and he'd jump into action. Everyone would have to stop him, something like that. So we flipped the script and this is something I love to do, and the results that came back are awesome. And I want to do this kind of thing again, of course, in a more timely manner. So we flipped the script. The TMNT animated series was ending. We were just getting done reviewing season 10, and we put out the call for an email contest saying we want to flip the script. We want Turtletarians to tell us how would the Turtles come out and fight the cancellation of their show. Like you're back in season 9, season 10. They know it's coming down.
Yeah.
We talked a lot on the show about how the Turtles face a lot of competition from new shows like X-Men and Batman the Animated Series and Gargoyles, and these shows that were coming out that were kind of like dark and like different and cool. And the Turtles had been dominating for a decade, but that they eventually, they lost their animated series. Right. So we're like, how would the Turtles come out and fight the cancellation and the ending of the first true wave of Turtlemania, right? And we got some awesome responses. So I think I'm gonna now. Do you want me to read all these out, or did you want to take turns reading them, or you want me to handle the reading on these guys?
I think we found that
I don't want to step on you if you want.
No. We I think we found that you reading and me responding usually works way better with things. So, okay. But that's up to you. You can pass the baton to me anytime you want, so I can do whatever.
Yeah, no, I'll read them out for sure. I just didn't want to, like I said, if you wanted to, read some or whatever, maybe I'll read and give you you can have the first pop on like kind of why we chose this one, right? Okay. And like what we liked about it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, because it was really an open format. It was literally like, we just said like brevity's cool. Like if it's too long, we
highly
might like
encouraged
edit it down.
Right.
Humor, originality, right? Like whatever format you want. I think we said like you can draw a comic, you can shoot a video, you can write an email, send us a voicemail. It didn't matter what it was.
It didn't matter.
We opened it up to whatever format, but yeah, these were the 5 we chose, and then of course we'll read the winner last. So all you guys that are getting read out, like you're a runner up, but like you're in rarefied air. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we're doing it. So our first runner up comes from your boy Malik. You know what I'm saying, Malik?
Yeah.
Longtime listener and honestly like 87 series kind of expert.
Oh, at this point, yeah, I think so.
I just kind of say like, I reviewed it all on a podcast, but I still think he knows more than me. And,
I was just about to say that.
He always will.
Yeah.
So like that's just kind of what it is. So he gave us kind of like a synopsis titled "Turtles Come Out and Fight That: The End of Their TV Series," or "Toodaloo from La La Land," or sorry, from TV Land? Question mark. Toodaloo from TV Land.
I love it.
And I'll read through this. So he says, I think that the Turtles would try to come up with new scripted stories to tell, only to realize that, like, to their shock, most of the stories they've come up with have already been done 6 or 7 times. Mike would want to partake in making appearances at opening places for like comic, toy video game stores, but would be booed off by a bunch of older kids who at the time would be convinced the Turtles are now lame. Trying to boost their now floundering popularity, they would try to make guest appearances on other 90s animated superhero shows. It says, in brackets, Mike would want to try out for X-Men, which I'm like, yeah, you would.
Yeah, he would. He'd want to be a part of that.
I think he'd be silly enough. I think Raph would be the right one to join the X-Men, but I think Mike would really want to try to be an X-Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe inspired by some of that old Bobby Drake humor. You know what I mean? Be like, I can bring that to the table. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It says Don, meanwhile, will use his opportunity to go back into the field of science professionally, and using his college degree, maybe make some great strides in dimensional travel. He mentions maybe getting the dimensional portal to actually work correctly over time. Right. And then he postulates that he and Irma might end up meeting again sometime afterwards. I'd think that something would bloom between them. You know what I'm saying? And what I liked about the submission was just that there's a lot there about how each turtle would try to come out and fight that, which to me, I thought was kind of cool.
Absolutely.
Like, so he mentions Raph and Mona Lisa reuniting. And that Leo would open up his own dojo, which is great, which is pretty great. And then it says Michelangelo, being the most starved for attention, would be inspired by April to write novels about the adventures he shared with his brothers over their long crime-fighting career, and would eventually regain some of his fame in life. Granted, it wouldn't be anything like the fame he once enjoyed in the late 80s and early 90s. Then at the end he says, Right before the next mutation becomes a thing, the Turtles would work together to try and pitch a reboot of their film series, this time closer in tone to the Mirage comics made by those Eastman and Laird guys, quote. The studios would agree to it, but would decide to keep it in play just in case the opportunity becomes ripe. So that is Malik's submission. And what do you think about this one, Eric?
So what I loved about Malik's submission was that, like you touched on it, that he took it, he separated the team, and made it to where at this point they theoretically should be in their 20s, somewhere in there, and and as most TV actors are, they have to act younger than their age, their demographic or whatever. So I liked that he was furthering their trajectory anyway. When I was reading it, it was brilliant, because I was thinking about Donatello and why doesn't he have more correspondence with other scientists that are trying to do things, especially in the 87 series where everyone's wants to be on the highly desirable technology showcase, for April, on Channel 6. And so when he touched about onto that was really neat. And then, I love me some Mona Lisa, so I love the romance coming back and all that. But then Mikey, giving Mikey the novels and the writing and stuff, which is something we're starting to see more of in Image, the Image run we're reviewing.
Sounds like somebody got tipped off by Image a little bit. Yeah,
I know.
But
I love that, and it's really neat, and I really appreciated that, and that was really cool. And it's that's what kind of made me really really like this one. So.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting because, I did like, like I said, I did like it being broken up a little bit. I did like the fact that, like, maybe there is no great answer. Do you know what I mean? That's what kind of attracted me to this entry. It was like, no, they all try to do their own thing. It kind of reminded me of like, the end of That Thing You Do, where they kind of like go into like what each of the different like characters did afterwards.
You mean
know
what
I mean?
You mean the movie, not The Thing I Do?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I was getting confused. Sorry.
No, that thing you do can't be. You can't make a movie of that. That's.
Thank you.
You break the camera.
It's true.
But yeah, like I liked that, and once again, thanks a lot for the submission, Malik. And
yes, thank you so much,
you're
Malik.
going to be receiving some runner-up swag. You know what I'm saying? So let's see here. So we have John Klein is our next
I've heard of him.
runner-up with Turtle TMNT comes out and fights Oncoming the Aughts. So, okay, so I'll read some of this and then summarize some of this, right? Because it's not that long, but it's one of those things. So,
right, yeah.
It says we open in the lair, right? I'm like, oh shit, like that. We open in the lair. That sounds like one of our animated series, like reviews, which I liked off the bat.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Mikey has an envelope and gathers his bros together to read their first letter in a long time. The last letter they received announced that they should prepare for red skies, which confused them. They open this letter, which states there will not be an 11th season. Raph makes a joke about how they didn't see that coming while looking at the fourth wall. That news is a little too much, to which Mikey says it's a little too Raph. Laugh track intensifies. The Turtles decide to look for ways to stay relevant. Raph auditions for Star Search, thinking he can maybe entertain people with some songs, but his brothers don't think anyone would be interested in a singing turtle. Wouldn't it ask too many questions about where they've been putting down their weapons, or even more questions about the eventful pickup of their weapons? You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot loaded in that statement. It's very interesting. Mikey tries to sneak onto the Disney afternoon lot and gets a guest spot on Darkwing Duck. He's told to leave after he keeps trying to introduce Ace Duck to Launchpad.
I love that.
That's pretty great. Donnie gets a guest spot on Beakman's World, which like that's just sick. Like that would work.
Yeah.
There's some initial confusion between Splinter and Lester the Rat on Bring Your Father to Work Day. Yo, that Lester the Rat, that is such a deep cut from Beakman's World, bro.
It is.
Like,
so good.
Yes, there would be some like, wait, who's the Rat Daddy here? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
You have a rad rat dad or a bad bat dad. A rad, what is that? What we said? It was
rat dad to
like
bad
that.
dad.
You have a rat. Who's the rat dad? Who's the rad rat dad? And who's the bad rat dad? You know what I'm saying? Let's figure that out.
Yeah, we got
live on Beatman's World.
Yeah,
if you need it. Leo decides to simply concentrate on his ninja training. The Turtles do get asked to cut ribbons at grand openings of new pizzerias in the tri-state area. In a last-ditch effort, the Turtles come together and start standing outside of the Today Show window in hopes that Al Roker will walk over to them. After the third day of asking, how is the weather in the sewers, they are told to stop coming by. Meanwhile, April's career has been booming, and once the Turtles were banned from the Today Show, someone remembered a spunky freelance reporter and gave April an opportunity, and she's been co-anchor ever since. She still occasionally winks at Splinter. Hopefully not too long. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, John, it really wasn't. But yeah, so how this one bounce off you? And why is it in our top 5?
So I love that he didn't do the Raph goes and joins something like ultra-violent, which I get, and he could,
Sure.
and it makes sense.
He can.
But I just like that somebody went a different direction and went Star Search of all things. And the idea that makes a lot of sense for 87 Raph. Like, that totally does. And so and then I loved the Mikey. I love anything with Darkwing Duck. So him going to different lots and just trying to work him, like, they're actors, like they're trying to get, like, I loved that. And so that really worked for me. And that's just kind of what made it a thing. So I really appreciated those two takes.
Yeah, another kind of like, you know, the band splits up. But then I like that they do come together and they try to get the Today Show. It just doesn't work. It winds up being actually a great opportunity for April, because April gets the career on the Today Show. So it's like it all kind of
works out
because they've been putting April out. You know what I mean? A lot. And now so it kind of works out for her, but I like that. So yeah, once again, thanks a lot, John. That one was hot fire. Let's see. Next up, we have a submission from Gigi, and it says, I would like to say I'm a longtime listener, but I've only been listening to your podcast for less than a year. I've been a longtime fan of the TMNT since the original cartoon, and while I've not always kept up with the franchise, especially in later years, I still consider myself a fan and appreciate your show making the journey. Here is my Turtles Come Out and Fight That for Ryan's radically rewatchable rerun raffle. I just had to say it again because it's like the best thing in the world that we've ever done.
It was great.
So this is a short but sweet. The Ninja Turtles are brought in to meet the execs overseeing the CBS Action Zone, who tell the Turtles that their show will be canceled if they don't suggest ideas to bring in ratings. Mikey suggests that whenever shows have run for a decade like theirs have, they always add a new character to the main cast. Raph suggests that they let him be more violent, noting that Batman and X-Men don't fight villains who say Clang. This is a fact.
It's true.
Leo suggests bringing in Karai to make the Foot Clan a serious threat like they were in the comics. Donnie suggests they give him an extra segment on the show to explain science. Ultimately, the execs go with Mikey's idea and add a new character to the cartoon, the fifth turtle, Venus. So this one was tantalizing, and the kind of the reason it made the top was, I'm sorry, I'm kind of taking over your spot, but I really had to say that the idea that they basically just take the next mutation and just keep it going. Yeah.
But they make it the animated series. Yeah, they just don't make it live action. Yeah, that was what was intriguing to me. Was being like, oh, that's neat. Although I think the thing that got me was the idea of making the animated series a little bit more not a variety show, but like having the segment for Donatello, his science thing. That made me like think like, oh, that would have been really neat if they could do that. And then if he, and I was just going further from there, being like, what if he got his own show? Like Bill Nye and stuff, and was explaining stuff. Like, I'd listen to Donatello tell me things because he does machines, knows what's up. So I did like that. And then given the shout out to Karai would have been cool, but see, I don't know, that always weirds me out with thinking about Karai in the animated series. Like, I know we got Lotus Flower and stuff, but but still, I don't know, that it's an interesting thought.
But could Karai have worked in Red Skies? And I think that she possibly could have.
Definitely.
Right.
I wasn't even thinking about Red Skies, but I should be.
The way I kind of like saw this with like the Action Zone, you know what I mean? Was like, this is in Red Skies era already. Like, absolutely. Right. Cause it's kind of like, look, like this ain't, your show's over unless you figure it out.
Right.
And when you look at a lot of Gigi's suggestions, through those eyes and that rhetoric, it all kind of like starts to make sense.
Yeah.
And then just the idea of they go like, I tell you what, like let's bring in Venus, bring in a new character, and we'll have all of our all of our next mutation times. We'll just keep this running.
Yeah.
I think that would have been like a viable answer for CBS. I think it would have been like,
so too.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
If they would have combined a little
go.
bit, if they would have combined a little bit of Raph and a little bit of the Venus part, like I think that could have been a viable solution for season 11.
Yeah.
So yeah. So thank you, Gigi.
For sure. So yeah, thanks, Gigi. And once again, you're going to be getting some swagalicious business. So this is one from Noah. You know what I'm saying? This kind of rounds out our runner-up slots. And once again, everybody who entered, guys are amazing. And we only had just enough time to read as many as we kind of did, right? So we kind of had to pick and choose. But this is Noah's. Let me see here. Here you go by 3Ds, the Deep Diving Daddies. Yeah, you gotta know. Hope you enjoy it. So this is rather long. So it's kind of in script form. So I'm going to summarize a little here. Noah put a lot of work into the scripting, which really kind of won us over. But once again, for time concerns. So he says, with the Turtles knowing that season 10 is coming to a close and no season 11 planned, the team calls a meeting in the lair to discuss their options on how they can stay relevant in the minds of the people. And he starts this dialogue. And effectively, it's the Turtles all kind of like talking about how they're going to get canceled. And like, what do we do? Right. And April suggests that maybe they quit TV and start a podcast. And Casey says, that's dumb. Nobody wants to be podcasters. And everyone just turns and looks at the audience, which I think is just a weird Back to the Future joke about us, which I appreciate.
I always appreciate.
So Donnie comes up with an idea. He says, I think I have an idea. I can build a machine. I mean, that is what I do after all. And Leo's like, what kind of machine, like, do you think can help us, like, stay on TV? Like, I don't understand. He goes, I will make a machine that can replace the actors in a show with one of us. And Raph's like, wait, so we just take their spot and we can still be ourselves? And Donnie's like, yeah, it's just a machine. I can do it.
It's true.
So he does it. He builds the machine, right? It says, cut to everyone huddled around Donnie in the newly built machine. And Mikey's doing his, like, I'm ready for my close-up Mr. DeVille thing, which he would totally do. Wanting to be the first one to use it. So Donnie says, well, first, whoever's going to be a replacement stands in front of this camera. He shows the group an old-style movie camera with all kind of wires coming out of it. And for some reason, the Turtle Shell logo is on the side, which I was like, that's like, of course it would be. Like, you have time to brand it, right? That thing might warp you halfway to hell, but still, I mean, it's got the turtle logo on it.
Yeah.
So Mike jumps in, and Raph pushes him out of the way. So he winds up, I guess, sending. Yeah, let me see. He sends Raph back. He says, "All right, moving." He says, "Moving Raph to the spot in front of the camera." Then goes back to the control panel. Okay, everyone, put your safety goggles on. Everyone but Raph, because Raph doesn't put them on.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And Raph's like, which is a little that joke of like everyone wears safety goggles, but the person that's being zapped. Remember that joke we made on the animated series?
Yes.
He's definitely calling that out there too.
Definitely.
And he says, where do you want to go? And he's like, somewhere cool. So Raph's like, Donnie's like, all right. So the basic premise of this, the rest of this, is that he warps each turtle to a different show. Where they're just on that show.
Yeah.
And when they come back, it's almost like a very small amount of time passes. I like this time element.
Yeah.
When they come back, like they've been on the show. Like it just kind of like happened.
Yeah.
So Raph goes on NYPD. What? Sorry.
I'm just thinking. So like you're gonna get the DVD set, and all of a sudden Raphael's gonna be on NYPD Blue, just in an episode of that. Just hey y'all.
Just in an episode of that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just there and then gone.
Yes. So that's effectively what happens. So what happens is like Raph goes to NYPD Blue, and they're like, oh man, that's kind of crazy. And Raph comes back and he's like, oh, it was badass. It was me in the show. Like, I'm animated, and they're not. And it's awesome. And I'm in the show, and they just accept me in there. And it's great.
Like
and Mikey's like, oh my God, like let me do it. So it says cut to Mikey standing next to Will Smith on the set of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And I'm like, oh, that's like so good, right?
Yeah,
like
that's great.
Right where you need to be. Donnie dressed in hospital scrubs next to Matt Green in ER.
Mm,
I'm like, there you go.
interesting.
Leo standing next to Dana Scully on X-Files.
Mm.
Casey walking next to Chuck Norris in Walker, Texas Ranger. April handing a tool to Tim Allen as the Benford tool girl on Home Improvement. Mikey skateboarding with Bart in The Simpsons. Donnie building a machine with Dexter in Dexter's Laboratory. Leo leading a group of Joes to take on Cobra and G.I. Joe Extreme.
That's excellent.
Raph and Casey sitting on a couch watching music videos as Beavis and Butthead.
Mm-hmm.
April as the new teacher on the Magic School Bus.
Oh, dang.
Cut back to the lair. Yeah, I know. It's like all these really cool ideas.
Love
you
that.
know? And yeah, so it's cut back to the lair. Everyone's standing around and talking about their adventures. Oh, this is pretty great. The ending got me.
Mm.
He's like, so Leo's like, Sensei, like, don't you want to do it? He's like, no, I'm just an old rat. You know, no one wants me on a show. He's like, no, give it a shot. Everyone convinces him to do it, right? This is the end. So everyone convinces him to do it. He's like, okay, my sons, I will do this for you. So he gets in front of the camera and Donnie zaps him and he comes back like instantly. And, you know, Donnie, and they're basically get him and he comes back. He's like, Splinter, where'd you go? And he says the last line, my sons, I don't know, but what is HBO After Dark?
Oh,
And that's it. That's it. So
dang.
just to summarize, all the turtles get to basically be in every show and it's badass.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's so cool. And then Splinter goes in and he's on Skinamax.
Yeah, exactly. With his burnt Cheeto, if you know what I mean.
So what stuck out to you here?
I loved the almost Quantum Leap-esque like jumps through like different TV shows. Like I loved that. That was great.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about it and I'm wondering, is this more of like a way to deal with the loss of their TV show, that they're going to go experience some other TV shows, and that's just kind of them getting like running its course and be like, okay, we did all this other stuff with television. Now we can move on to something else. I love that idea of it. And yeah, but I also love the idea of like watching a whole season of the Turtles doing this and just going to these different shows and basically just guesting on the animated series version of the show. Well, no, they would be a live action. So it would be like a Roger Rabbit version of season 11. Like I love that idea too. So that's what got me going. What about you?
Well, it kind of got me going too, because like from the initial premise, I think that Noah took an interesting angle on it, because so a lot of these ones that we really liked took a different angle, where like maybe they weren't necessarily like fighting for the show. They were more like trying to stay relevant, and that's kind of the bent that like Noah took. But like in specifics, he says like, you know, they actually called the meeting to discuss options on how they could stay relevant in the minds of the people. So their conversation they had, which once again I kind of abbreviated, was them kind of saying like, how do we stay on TV? And I think that's an interesting angle of them being like, well, like sure, the show, like we can't like fix the show, like I don't know, like it is what it is, like, but how can we keep the TMNT relevant? How can we like show off our individual skills? And then I like the kind of the Elseworlds version of like them going to all these different shows. And then it has that, humor, which we did ask for humor there at the end.
Oh, we did.
You got,
it was
like,
great. No, that
Splinter
was awesome.
Splinter do you want to watch that episode of HBO After Dark? You know what I'm saying? You
Splinter's on like the Red Shoe Diaries or something like that, or like,
oh goodness,
he's on some of them old school
taxi cab confessions.
Oh,
over here,
geez.
you know what I'm saying?
Splinter.
So and all that other stuff that was scrambled. That was
is
seeing through the blurred lines. You know what I'm saying?
Is that a Rad Rat Dad? I think that's a Rad Rat Dad. Just stand still for a second.
It's a Rad Rat Dad.
Oh, that's a Rad Rat
No,
Dad.
you're just hanging out and you just hear his voice.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of see an image and you're like, oh, is that like Splinter? He's like, oh, hello, young lady. You're like, oh, shit, that is Splinter. 'Cause that audio wasn't scrambled. You know what I'm saying? Somehow.
No.
Anyway. So once again, Noah, thanks a ton. Really cool. Kind of, I did like the fun and games on this one. Really stuck out to me. The long run of like fun of games and them just doing all this different stuff with this device. It seemed really fun.
It did. And the thing I like about all of these are stuff that I can see us like, it's in the same jest, in the same heart of what Turtles Come Out and Fight That would be. Like, I can see us coming to these conclusions too. So like, I love that. And
Absolutely. And I like a lot of them. Yeah, like they feel like stuff that would be kind of in our ballpark, but like they are original in the fact that
Yeah,
a lot of these submissions didn't necessarily have the turtles like fighting for the show as much.
Right.
Like they kind of like would wander off on their own, or they would like figure stuff out. I like some of that behind the music feeling that a lot of these brought too.
Ooh, you're
So-
right. Yeah, that's definitely a
You know
good
what I
point.
mean?
Yeah, that's a real good point.
So then, last but certainly not least, we have our winner. And our winning submission was sent by Mr. Mike Hatfield.
Ooh.
So Mike Hatfield went all out on this one. And I want to really explain this. So, because, you know, so he sent us a comic. Okay. It was in comic form. Just going to say
He
that.
did.
5-image comic. He didn't tell us in the email that we could really share that on YouTube. That's not something he expressly said. If anything, he kind of said, look, I know it's a comic, but like you can just give us a synopsis on as the entry. You know what I mean? Like almost writing like he thought he may have like broken the rules of the contest by doing
Yeah.
it or something like that. Now, Hatfield has made us a comic before,
Multiple.
and it was ridiculously awesome. Remember
Yeah.
that? Like
Yeah,
it was like
he's
the
made
turtle
us a
suit
few
thing.
of
It was
them.
like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes, and like I treasure those. Now,
do too.
I do want to say though that Eric and I had a lot of hard consideration about this, and the comic presentation is not what won Mike Hatfield this contest.
No,
I just want to
no,
come
no.
out and say that. The fact that he went all out and made a comic is amazing, and that is definitely going above and beyond. And you know,
We
love
appreciate
it,
it.
and
Yeah.
it's awesome. Yeah, but it was really the core of the story, which I will share. Okay.
Yeah.
So in this 5-page comic, which very well could have just been explained, like in every other email we got, it shows the turtles in 1996, and it's entitled "I'm Not Canceled, You're Canceled." Okay, and it has the turtles basically being told by like the most like asshole executive for CBS, basically, you're canceled, you suck. Leave the keys to the party wagon and turtle blimp at reception on your way out. Like get out of here. And the turtles go back to the lair and like they're like upset about it, and like Splinters like slaps Leo upside the head and says like, look, remember your roots. We do not give up. You will not fail against adversity. And so the turtles ditch their colored masks and go back to the all red, because you know what I mean. Like you know, animated series game is over. So the long story short is they basically come up with a plan, and they get Renee to show up.
Yeah.
You know, the mistress of time from the Mirage comics. And they're like, let's do this. They go back to Bruce Wayne's parents and him coming out of the theater going to see Zorro.
Yes.
They cut the hand off of the man who sticks them up
Right.
and just kick the shit out of him. And I think that's Leo just impales this guy. And
Yeah.
you're like, okay.
Straight up murders him.
And Bruce Wayne, so Thomas Wayne goes, thank you so much. Who are you? And they're like, we're the TMNT. No need for things. Just do us a favor. Keep this young man out of trouble. And then one of the turtles goes, and show business. You know what I'm saying? Like, so flash forward, and you basically, it's like the epilogue, and you realize it's like the year 2006.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like all this time later. And it's got Renee and Donnie. And Renee's like, Leo, this has to stop. I can't help again. And Donnie's like, yeah, we all agreed to that Batman thing years ago, but we have enough money. This is out of control.
Yeah.
And he says, I mean, squashing that radioactive spider was fairly harmless, but dredge netting Bikini Bottom goes against all our beliefs. We never should have handed baby Cat Dog to the pound. And beating up Ben 10 for his Omnitrix was pretty rough. The list goes on, Leo. And like in the background, and like it's hard to get the visual out, you see them doing it. You see like Bikini Bottom being dredged, and like SpongeBob and like Patrick stuck in this like chain net thing. You see Cat Dog go to the pound, and you see Ben 10 just beat up like a black eye.
Right.
And the last thing is this image of Leo like wearing his blue bandana and his red bandana like on his neck. And his eyes are bloodshot. He's got like TV ratings in one hand and focus groups in the other.
Right.
And he's like, I'll never fail again. Never. I own children's TV. Me alone. Turtle power. And everyone's just left to look on in horror. Right.
Yeah.
So while the visuals obviously help, the ultimately crazy angle that the turtles would go like that on it got me.
Yeah.
Like, Eric, where's your head at on that?
So when we got the comic and when we read the email and he said, you can just summarize it, I was like, immediately, I just was like, okay, let me just, after I read it, I was like, well, let me go back and just pretend like I just know what happens in it. There's no comic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And when I boiled it
same
down,
thought process too.
Yeah, when I boiled it down to that, it was fine. And that was, I could totally see us going there, and that's what I loved. I loved that take on it because it's a darker, twisted take, and I did not. I love that they use Renee, and I love that he goes back and they do heroic things to prevent. Well, at first, obviously, it starts heroic by you're stopping a crime, but it's the slippery slope, and then it gets worse and worse. And I loved that. I loved all of that. And so it was. And then they just keep doing it. They stop they kill the radioactive spider for Spider-Man and stuff. And I just love that they wreck. Like it's the you live long enough to see yourself become the villain thing. And
absolutely.
And I thought that was brilliant, and I loved that so much. So that's
it just goes down to I wasn't prepared for how dark it got.
No.
And I wasn't prepared for how dark it got. And that really knocked me off my game. And the funniest thing is behind the curtain, Eric and I read these separate, and we didn't really talk about them until we kind of came together to consider like who are the top five, who out of the top five who won, and stuff like that. And we both kind of hit upon the fact that like we just both weren't prepared for how dark it went.
Yeah,
and how that the abuse of Renee's powers. To go back and how it starts with Batman, but then it'd be like, and you realize like way later on, they just still dominate because they ruin all of their competition.
Mm-hmm.
Like, kind of got me a little bit. I was like, I
yeah.
almost feel like that would just be a good plot to like just a comic.
It
just
would.
a comic, not even a Turtles comic, but just literally just a comic book about like if you could go back and destroy all your competition, like what would happen to you, basically.
Yeah.
So really, really cool take, really original take, made me laugh, very dark, which appealed to that side of me. And so Mike Hatfield is our winner.
Congratulations.
So we're going to be, obviously Mike, congratulations and congratulations to everybody who entered and everybody who made the top five, definitely champions. And they were awesome takes. So we'll be reaching out, you know what I mean? To, if not everybody that made the top five is a patron, so we might have to reach out for stuff. But for it, where to send you some neat stuff. But we're gonna be shipping that out, and then once again, sorry for the delay in rounding it out, but we definitely figured out a lot about how to make this thing really work this time around.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, this was the thing that we did.
The thing.
But congratulations to everybody, and thanks so much for just participating. And they were all really funny, and had a great time.
Definitely. Well, guys, I think that's it. I think we're at the bottom of the bowl for Chef Special.
Yeah, no. I mean, we're just we're pouring the bowl, the rest of it in our mouths right now.
Exactly.
And then we're out. You know what I mean?
So thank you guys so much for being in the chat and being a part of this, and hope y'all had fun. And we should be back next week with I think it's 8 or 9. I forget whichever image issue has Leonardo and the Night Watchman who looks like Batman on the cover. That's the one we're reviewing. And so
we'll finally be able to pay off doing that Big Bang Comics issue and kind of pay off getting back into Image proper for you guys. So looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, if you've been wondering why did they do that Big Bang, for reasons that will soon become clear to you next week. That's when that'll come
absolutely
into play. So again, thank you everyone for being a part and and being in the chat like we said. And we'll catch you on the Prime side. So else time.
Else time.